policy could be annual renewable term, where it's literally every year it renews, okay? And the cost every year goes up. Why would somebody buy something like this to begin with? It's super cheap in the beginning, but over time it becomes more expensive than the 30-year term or the 20-year term or the 10-year term. So the idea is, if you only needed a policy for a year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that, this may be an option for somebody. Why would people need something for a couple years? Maybe we took out a loan to do construction, and you have two business partners, and you say, hey, if something happens, how long till this house is done? 12 months from now it'll be done, then we're gonna sell it. Okay, well, if something happens to that person and they can't finish the job, I'm gonna need to go hire somebody else to finish this job, and that's gonna cost me money. So I'm actually gonna buy a term policy on this person. I'm not buying this for personal reasons, I'm buying this for business reasons, okay? This is typically considered like maybe a key man policy. It's an important person in your business that's a key person, where if you were to lose that person, it would cost you money to go find somebody else to replace that person. So if you deal with anybody that owns a business, they may have employees that are very critical to the business, and you may have a key man policy available here. So it's cost this much for this year, next year it costs more, next year it costs more, next year it costs more, next year it costs more. So every year it goes up in cost. This is a 1-year term. When you run like an NL, and most carriers don't sell this as an option on term. They typically only sell like a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, 30-year term, okay? When you run National Life Group on their illustration, you'll see 10, 15, 20, 30, ART, all the way to the right. You can keep the policy as long as you want, but every year the cost goes up, because the cost of an annual renewable term would be less than the 10-year term. If this one over here is $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, and this one over here is 10 to start, for the first 9 years, this one's cheaper over here. So if you needed less time, you'd go over here. At the end of the day, regardless whether it's $1 million 10-year term or $1 million here, if this one's $1 and this one's $10, which would you rather pay? The dollar, right? Now, if you're concerned that you're gonna need it more than 10 years, then yeah, you may wanna just go with the 10-year term to begin with. But if it's a short-term project, you're gonna go with this. Right. In my career, I've sold one of these. This is not for you to become experts on annual renewable term. It's for you to understand that it exists, there's usage, there's different types of policies you can use for different scenarios, so that you're not a limited agent thinking, I can only sell you a 10-year term or a 15-year term, and there's no creativity on how some of these products can serve other people's needs. Can you convert an ART? I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, go check, but I'm pretty sure you can convert it to a permanent policy. But you wouldn't convert an ART to a term, you would just start a new term because there's no cash value in term.